Hey Canucks fans, are there 37 players in the NHL that are better than Elias Pettersson? I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram, I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, December the 15th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. I want to thank all of you who joined me for my live stream last night. It was a bigger crowd than the last few weeks, which was wonderful to see. And that hour went by very quickly, as always. And today, coming to you a little bit later, I had a very busy day at work, didn't have time to record before I came to work. So now I'm recording at the end of my workday before I drive home. But I wanted to get to this list that everyone's talking about, this top 50 players as done by the NHL Network. And Canucks fans, we have 2 players on there. So, you know, when you do the math, you should have at least 1, if not 2 players on there, right? 31 teams, 50 players listed. And the Canucks have 2 players. They have Quinn Hughes at number 46, and they have Elias Pettersson at number 38. Now, when you hear that, and I'll get to my my poll question first. So when you hear that, Hughes at 46, Pettersson at 38, you say, okay, that's pretty good, right? The 2 players in the top 50. Not all teams will have 2 players. Some teams will have more than 2 players on that list. But Pettersson at 38, Hughes at 46. I said to you Canucks fans on Twitter, I said, how does that sit with you? Does that sound about right? Are they too high, too low? And I put a poll question out. 200 people responded in just a few hours. 71% of you are saying that those rankings are too low. 2% of you, only 4 people, are saying those are too high. 16% of you are saying one of them's too high, but one of them's too low. Because of Twitter, they only allow 4 choices for answers. So I couldn't ask, is it Pettersson's too low and Hughes is too high, or is it Pettersson's too high and Hughes is too low? But I don't know. Of that 16%, I'm guessing that you probably have a few either way, but I'm guessing the majority are saying that Pettersson should be higher than number 38, and maybe Hughes is about right because he's only a rookie, and to be one of the best 50 players out of 700 players, that's pretty good. So anyway, 16% of you said that one's too high, one's too low, but I don't know who's who. And then 11% of you said it's just about right. So the point is 71% of you saying that these rankings are too low. So I want to spend a few minutes getting into the rankings. And there is a method to the NHL's madness. And I'm not sure if anyone's brought this up yet. But remember, they did these rankings a couple months ago throughout November and December. And they did top 20 centers, top 20 wingers, top 20 defensemen, and top 10 goaltenders. So 70 players across those 4 lists ranked against each other within your same position. What the NHL Network has done is they brought over those rankings relative to each other, and they haven't changed the order. So my point is Pettersson was ranked the number 16 center. He did not leapfrog any of the 15 guys ahead of them in this top 50 list. So that means, Pettersson's the 16th best center, ranked at number 38. That means the other 15 centers are from 1 through 37. And I'll get to that more in a second. Same with Quinn Hughes. He was ranked the number 11 defenseman. So that means there are 10 guys ranked ahead of him last month in the defenseman ranking. And those rankings relatively have translated over. So basically, Hughes is at number 46 as the 11th best defenseman. The top 10 defensemen are then ranked 1 through 45. So my point is, we knew that the way that the NHL has done it, we know that there's going to be 15 centers that are higher than Pettersson in these rankings, and we above him, and we know that there's 10 defensemen higher above Quinn Hughes in these rankings. So I hope that makes sense, but it does kind of now make a bit more intuitive sense as to how NHL Network did their things. They didn't re-rank within position, but they re-ranked against each other outside of position to come up with their top 50. So obviously I said there's 20, 20, 20, and 10. That's 70. That means 20 guys did not make the cut, and I'm going to get into each of the 4 positions right now. So let's start with the defenseman. Quinn Hughes was ranked number 46 overall in the top 50, and then he was the 11th best defenseman. So that means that there are other defensemen, obviously, on the top 20 that didn't make the list because at number 49 was Zach Werenski. So he was the 12th best defenseman. So you can see I'm going to go from 12 all the way closer. So Werenski, 12th best defenseman, number 49. So that means numbers 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 of the top 20 D-men, they did not make this top 50 list. So we got Werenski at number 49 as the 12th best. We have Quinn Hughes at 11th best defenseman. He's at number 46. Miro Heiskanen was number 10th defenseman. He's at 45. Charlie McAvoy was the 9th best defenseman. He's at number 44. And then Chris Letang was the 8th best defenseman, was at number 43. So you have 8, 9, 10, 11. Letang, McAvoy, Heiskanen, and Hughes all ranked 43, 44, 45, and 46. Then you jump up a bit, you have Dougie Hamilton. He was the 7th ranked defenseman. He's at number 37. And then we have our best friend, Cale Makar. He was the 6th best defenseman. He was ranked number 34, actually ahead of Pettersson too. Makar's at 34, Pettersson's at 38, so that's kind of interesting. And then you have Seth Jones as the 5th ranked defenseman. He's at, I don't know where he is actually. Oh, I wrote it down wrong. I think he's at number 32 or number 31. So in essence, a couple things. So that means there are 4 defensemen remaining in the top 30 guys to still be released by the NHL. They're doing a 10 guys every week. So there are 4 defensemen in the top 30, and that is Victor Hedman, Roman Josi, John Carlson, and Alex Pietrangelo. So those 4 guys still have to be ranked somewhere in the top 30. I'm not sure how high they're going to get. Victor Hedman was number 1, so I'm not sure if he's going to crack the top 5 or the top 10. We'll see in a couple weeks. So I always, as you know, like to compare Quinn Hughes to the other 3 young guys to make up the big 4, and that is Makar, Heiskanen, and Dahlin. Well, Rasmus Dahlin, he fell in between 13 and 20, so he did not make this top 50 list, right? Remember, there's 8 defensemen that didn't make the top 50. And then Miro Heiskanen is just 1 step ahead of Hughes, number 45 overall, 10th best defenseman. Hughes is number 11. But then Cale Makar, he was ranked as the 6th best defenseman, and we talked about this in the vlog last month when this top 20 list came out, and he's all the way at number 34. So already they're saying the rookie of the year is one of the top 35 players in the league. He's really good. I have nothing against Makar, and I've always said if Makar was in Vancouver and if Hughes was in Colorado, we'd be saying the exact same thing, but flip, we would say that Makar is a worthy Rookie of the Year winner. So I think we should be blessed that we have Makar, Heiskanen, Hughes, Rasmus Dahlin, even Shea Theodore in that mix. A lot of good young defensemen. So that's where Quinn Hughes is. So his basically 11th ranked D translates over to a 46 overall in the top 50. Let's go to Elias Pettersson. He was number 16 in centers, and then he's ranked number 38 overall. The other centers that made the list were number 17. That was Steven Stamkos. He's right behind Pettersson. He's number 39. Sean Couturier was number 18 center. He's at number 41. And Matthew Barzal was the 19th center. He's at number 42. So 19 of the top 20 centers made the top 50. The only one that didn't make it was the 20th ranked center at Anze Kopitar. So that means, and only Ryan O'Reilly was also in the top 30, after number 30. So he was ranked number 31 as the 15th best center. So that means there are 14 other centers that need to be still ranked in the top 30. So half of the centers, half of the remaining 30 are centers basically, 14 out of 30. That includes number 14, John Tavares, number 13, Sebastian Aho, number 12, Mark Scheifele, and number 11, Alex Barkov, and then of course all the great centers in the top 10. Now, when the top 20 centers list came out, I said Pettersson, you could argue maybe, even though Ryan O'Reilly was a beast in the playoffs, you could argue that maybe Pettersson could get as high as 13 or 14. Maybe better than O'Reilly. Some would say he's better than John Tavares already. And then I think Pettersson is very equivalent to Sebastian Aho at number 13. So maybe you could argue that Pettersson should be ranked 3 spots higher in the centers. So maybe you could argue he should rank about 5 or 6 spots or even 7 or 8 spots higher in the or maybe even cracking the top 30 overall if he was ranked in the top 13 in centers. So that's where Pettersson's ranking comes. He was the 16th best center. That translates to 38th overall. Then 2 categories that don't have Canucks in the top 50, but a very interesting one. JT Miller just missed out. For the wingers, their top 20 wingers, the last winger that's on this top 50 ranking is number 16, Johnny Gaudreau, and he was at number 50. So he had the last spot in the top 50, so that means there are 16 wingers in this top 50 list. Number 17 was JT Miller. So we don't know if he was going to be number 51 or number 52 or number 53. We know he's going to be in the top 70 according to the way they did it. But it's funny that the winger that gets in and is the last winger in this top 50 is the guy that's ahead of JT Miller, and that would be Johnny Gaudreau. The top winger in of the 31 and up was number 11 was Blake Wheeler. So that means winger 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, and 11 are in the top, are in the 31 through 50. Blake Wheeler was number 33. So that means that the top 10 wingers are still have to go in the remaining top 30 players. Lastly, goalies. Only 3 of the top 10 goalies made the top 50. So that means 7 of them are buried in the bottom 20, if you know what I mean, the top 70. And Connor Hellebuyck, the number 3rd ranked goalie, was ranked number 36. And then we still don't know where Tuukka Rask and where Andrei Vasilevsky are going to wind up. So all to say, of the 30 players remaining to be ranked, there are 14 centers, 10 wingers, 4 defensemen, and 2 goalies. Again, 14 centers, 10 wingers, 4 defensemen, and 2 goalies. Add those 4 numbers up, adds up to 30, and those are the 30 players that we're expecting to see. And the interesting thing of that is, like I said, 14 of the 30, basically half of them are still centers, and that's why we shouldn't be so upset that Elias Penderson wasn't ranked higher, because he's already ranked number 16, but the best players in the NHL are recognized to be centers. So I'm not worried. Pettersson's going to be in the top 30 next year, might be in the top 20 by the end of next year, and we know that he could be knocking the door as a top 10, top 15 player by the time his career is done. And same goes with Quinn Hughes. I expect him to rocket up these lists as we go. So again, it's just one list, but it's done by NHL Network, so you think they'd be one of, if not the leading voice on things like this. And you guys know me, I love it when Canucks are recognizing these lists, because it means that fans, other players, organizations, media are recognizing the good thing that the Canucks are doing. So again, Pettersson at 38, Hughes at 46, might seem low, but let's be happy we have 2 players in the top 50. And when you see the methodology, the fact that they brought all the rankings over relative to each other within positions, then it makes sense that both Hughes and especially Pettersson aren't higher than they are currently. So there we go. Canucks fans, after all that explanation, I know this is probably one of the times where it'd be nice if I had graphics and stuff, but I think you guys kind of followed what I was getting at, my main premise. Let me know, after all that, do you still think that Hughes and Pettersson are ranked too low? Or do you think, hearing all of that, it makes sense where they are, PD at 38 and Hughes at 46? Leave a comment below. I love to read, react, and reply. As always, subscribe if you like to, like this video if you like to. Enjoy the day, enjoy the rest of the day. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.